Glad to know you're still with us. You're still watching NTV at 1. Now, recently, Parliament passed the budget framework paper indicating that the country would see the education and sports sector receiving at least 1 trillion shillings in the coming financial year. Now, this is a slight drop in funding for the sector. To look at how the sector will be impacted, we do have Teopista Kizza, Head of Programs at the African Youth Development Link. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon. Thanks for hosting me.
Now, let's talk about how the budget shortfall will impact the education sector.
Yes, so looking at the education sector, it is one of those sectors that that can contribute to the development of the economy of Uganda. If you look at the human capital development component of the NDP3, is that education is one of the key drivers of the country's development because it contributes to the quality of the human resource that a country can have to drive its economy. So it's so unfortunate that this sector is underlooked. And yet, if you look at the demographics or the statistics of Uganda, is that you have over 78% of your population below the age of 35, and most probably the biggest number of that is within the education system. So how are you going to use the education system to be able to spur up the country's development by ensuring that they are able to attain the quality education that skills them to be absorbed into the job economy of the country? It's unfortunate that the sector is losing some amount of money at a time when we are crying over the poor quality of the system, where we have teachers that need to be retooled, where the infrastructure, for example, if you go up country, the infrastructure is appalling. Some schools or children literally don't have classrooms, they don't have desks, they don't have even enough latrines. So it's so unfortunate that we are cutting the education budget. So I'm wondering if we are prioritizing right as a country. Recently, there is a report that was produced last year by the National Planning Authority that talks about the growing number of young people that are dropping out of school, and they call them the NEETs. They are saying those are the children that are not in education, not in training, and not in employment. It's growing, so we are asking ourselves a question: where are they? These are young people who dropped out of the education system at a certain point because they realized that the system is not equipping them enough to be able to find an employment out there. Another challenge that is within the job market is that they are getting half-baked graduates who cannot be easily absorbed into the sector, the working economy. And all that is brought about because there isn't enough investment into the education sector to be able to produce the quality of the people that can provide the services that are needed in the economy. So I think for government to propose a cut is wrong. I know that at this time government is still looking into the budget. It's not yet out there, so they can still rethink the budget. We know that there are some areas that can be cut to be able to refund the education sector.
So I was about to ask, what would you advise would have been some of the adjustments in regards to, you know, the budget shortfall or the cutting in the budgets? How do you think the government should have handled this?
So how the government can handle this, I think government has where they can get some of the money still within that same budget. Because we see there is a funding that goes into the workshops that happen and cost us a lot of money.
But they're necessary.
No, some of them are not that urgent. We can just miss out on them. Yeah, if you look at things like how much we spend on celebrating events, these international days and other days, we can try to you know, reduce the way we do them, because what happened during COVID, those things used to happen even online, and people would participate and we would achieve what we would achieve from them. So government can just cut the budget that goes into those and be able to fund the education sector, because this is a sector that will spur the country's development. So if we are cutting the budget that goes in there, then we are likely to see more children drop out of school. For example, if you looked at the PLE results, we saw that a good number of children were enrolled in primary one, but then those that sat for PLE were kind of like half of those. Then where are the rest?
That's the big question.
That's a big question.
Well, thank you so much, Teopista Kizza, Heads of Programs at the African Youth Development Link. And that conversation takes us